So Black Templars. They were my favorite main army at one point. I still have about, I don't know what they would be in 8th edition now, but back in 5th, 6th edition, it was about 3,000 to 4,000 points of Black Templars. Stopped playing in 6th edition. Have gotten back into the hobby, just not as Black Templar because I didn't like them being folded into the rest of the codexes. Never thought we'd actually get more Black Templar, so have some thoughts on all these things. Wait until all the models were shown off before I made this video for reasons. First thing was this first article they made. The new Emperor's Champion. A lot of people, you know, I've heard some people say he looks pretty cool. I'm not a fan. He just doesn't look very good to me. He looks like he's tripping. I don't know why. But that maybe it's the fucking rock. Maybe it's just the angle of his leg. Maybe it's the fact that his tabard is longer than his leg. To me, he looks like he's tripping. Also, the chain. It's on the wrist joint. It's not attached to the vembrace. That's friggin' retarded. Also, well, I'm not too, I don't hate the helmet. The big-ass laurel wreath. Kinda goofy. Just a tad hanging off there. I hate the position his sword's in. It looks like he's showing, it looks like a kid showing off a toy he got for Christmas, like a toy lightsaber or some shit. Not my cup of tea. Well, we'll put it there. Also, this article has a couple of glaring issues in it, but the main one was right here, where it says classic model from Warhammer 4th edition. This model came out in 3rd edition. I just thought that was really funny. The article got that wrong. Anyway. Actually, no, fuck it. We're gonna compare him to the old one. He's standing there, he looks like he's tripping. Or, you know, at least not the most balanced on his tactical rock. Also, Jesus Christ, that's a very long Purity Seal. Or Crusader Seal, whatever you want to call it. Then you got the classic one, he's just standing there, menacingly. His sword's pointed at, you know, where he's going. He looks threatening to me. And I love this model. I'm biased. It is probably one of my favorite of the Space Marine models, though. The next thing they released, Codex. I think people have already made plenty of jokes about this art. Most of it's not bad. The exception being, of course, the guy front and center. His neck is fucking ginormous, and his arm is in several different perspectives. You know, it's not in the correct perspective of the rest of it. Might be triple jointed, which is a bit strange for a Space Marine. Not a fan of this art for the Codex, which is a shame because the Mechanicus Codex has some of the best art they've done in a long time, and they showed off this thing. Man, this box, that's a good looking box. It's the kind of box, you know, if you had the room, you could put that in the back of a display of a box, I guess, if you want to. I wouldn't, but you could, I guess. The box came out, it's $200 for all of 13 models and some other shit, but not quite worth it in my mind. But go over the models themselves. This guy looks really good. Again, tactical rock. It's goofy looking. They kind of went like a slight Mark II power armor for his Mark X tactical armor, which is strange. I get they're trying to make the Space Marines feel more like Space Marines again. I approve. It's just kind of funny to me. like I said, I like his sword. I even like his stupid little plasma pistol. Or whatever the hell the new one's called. Is the skeleton on the backpack a bit over the top? Yeah, but you know, I think it's neat and it fits with the whole armored skulls and shit aesthetic. I'm also a fan of the big blowing cape, but it's me. The new Crusader, is that what they call it? They call it Crusader Squad, yeah. He looks pretty good. He looks like, if I saw him, it's like, okay, that's a Black Templar. Him? He looks like a better Emperor's Champion than the Emperor's Champion they're making. Just straight up. Change his backpack and yeah, you're good. You're good to go. And obviously the sword from the blade up. Yeah, he's really good looking. He's really good looking. This guy, the extended flamer, which I miss templates. Also, he looks pretty snazzy for a Primaris Marine. He's not over the top Black Templar, but you know he looks the part. He looks good. Then you have the not neophyte, the not scout. How I wish they would just have updated the scout model range, but that's never going to happen now. He looks like how I want scouts to look, with the exception of his head. That is awful hair. That is beyond abysmal. Same thing with him. It's going to be a running theme. Is all these neophytes have awful hair, but he looks good. Pose is simple. It looks like he's running or jogging forward. Looks good. This guy up here looks good. Nice and dandy. He has the chains, tabard. Looks good. Him. I really like that pose. Again, ordering a charge forward. Neophyte has the bolter for some reason, which they used to not have. I'm old. It's probably the best looking head out of the neophytes too, which is a shame. You got again, looks fine, and that looks good. So all, you know, out of the Crusader squad, they look good. This guy looks good. This, though, this is amazing. This is beautiful. I wish I used to have, back when I played more in 5th edition, 6th edition, I wish they would do shit like this more often. They didn't. Because that is probably one of my favorite pieces of artwork in the entirety of the IP. Then they released some cards, which I don't give a shit about. Then they decided, hey guys, let's remake Helbrit. He crossed the Rubicon. He is now a Primaris Marine, which made me laugh hysterically. Because every named character is passing the Rubicon, and we all know they would. That was never a doubt. I just don't get the bullshit at the beginning where they're like, only 1 in, what was it, 60% of all Marines that try to pass the Rubicon die. If they never wrote that, this wouldn't be as big of an issue. But they wrote that because they're fucking geniuses at Games Workshop. Him! Let's look at Helbrit. Let's look at his old model. He looks good. You know, carrying the lantern, he's got the big over the top cape. He's got a sword of the High Marshal. It's not the most impressive looking power sword ever, though. It's got, like a, not quite a Mark II, but actually no, it is. It's pretty Mark II. Pretty Mark II armor. The Robo Hand. It's pretty good looking. He's a little tiny, though. It is a shame. It is a shame because, you know, it's just, what, a 20-year-old model? 15? No, 15. I think it's 15 years old. Anyway, this looks good. This looks really, really good. Mostly because it's just this artwork. But he's Primarist. I'm not a fan of Primaris, generally. But this guy, probably my favorite of all the Primaris characters that they've released. I like his base, even if he is standing on a fucking rock. But at least it looks good. Like, it just looks cool because it's just a good pose. He's got one servitor carrying his gun. He has the other one cleaning his blade. He has the dead orc. Again, if you don't fight, if you don't have orcs in your local meta, that part's going to be a little goofy, but pretty sure orcs are gaining popularity again. My only real confusion, as good as this model looks, is why does it look like his Mark II power armor, like his Artificer Mark II armor, when he is wearing Mark X armor? I get it, it could just be an aesthetic thing, and easily just to explain away his, I'm assuming going to be a 2-up save. It's just funny to me, though. He's got... I love that guy. I love this model. I love that fucking helmet. Should it probably be a bit bulkier? Maybe. I think it was my brother or a friend of mine said that the helmet should be a bit bigger. I don't really agree with that. I think it looks good the way it is. Nice little emblem. Yeah, he just looks great. His face is a little funny, but it matches his lore. He's not a blood angel. He's not supposed to be pretty. And you get to Grimaldus. Good golly gosh gee, does he look great. Let's look at the old model, though. Because this old model, I like it a lot. It was never my favorite, though. Mostly because I did feel his legs were a little squat, even compared to other Marines. I don't recall it being like that in person. It's been a long time since I've held the model in my hand. But it might have been. Servitors. Yeah, they look good, too. Not the best ever. That is a sure is face. But he himself, pretty dandy. I dig him. This looks really fucking good. Again, they kept a lot of the details of, like, you know, he's got a similar shit going on with the backpack and the sword. Crozy is pretty much the exact same. Yeah, it's just painted white there, so dirty silver. Copper, is that the right color? He's got beautiful candles all over him. He's got new goofy Primaris plasma pistol. Is the extra skull right there needed? No, probably not, but it looks good. That's all there is to really say about it. Then you get to the Cenobite Servitors. Actually, the name always made me laugh because of Hellraiser. And I'm pretty sure Cenobite is a much older term. Yeah, that banner, again, is it over the top a bit? Yeah, a lot of 40Ks was over the top, though, so I think this works. The column looks difficult to carry, but I still think it looks good. And the other guy carrying a bowl, I like him. I like him a lot. This is also probably their second most successful Primaris character, in my most correct and humble opinion. Then we get the last things they showed off. This guy. This guy's fucking amazing. And I know it's a bit odd, because some people have been saying he's a Primaris, other people are saying he's not. Doesn't look like one at all. He's probably big like one, because they've been upscaling a lot of their shit lately. Like, in terms of the Horus Heresy models, are a bit bigger. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just kind of went with a newer scale. But my god, I love him. I love the skull pauldrons. I love the helmet. Just everything about this model is a 10 for me. Even if he does look a bit fat and chunky. But I love him. It also helps that he's based off this beautiful artwork. He is gorgeous, and as much as I don't want to buy anything Games Workshop really because of their shenanigans, getting him from a third party might not be the worst idea. Because he looks like he'd be fun to paint. And just don't. Then we get to the new Sword Brethren. Not a fan of that pose. It looks really hunched over, but I'm pretty sure that's just this angle. Also not a big fan of the drum mag with the one-handed gun. It just looks goofy to me. Other than that, I think he looks good. Just not a fan of the pose and not a fan of the drum mag. Oh, I understand why the drum mag is there. This guy looks pretty good. He's just looks like an assault style intercessor, just much more Black Templar. He does look like a sword brethren. He has a sweet cape and everything. The new Lightning Claw guy, he looks pretty good. I dig him. At first, I wasn't really convinced of the new Lightning Claws, but the more I've thought about it, yeah, it's growing on me. I like it all. I'm starting to dig these style Lightning Claws. Yeah, and his pose menacing. It's just that one, but updated. I love it. It's only had the same kind of crazy shoulder thing. Was he even on that side actually? It's hard to tell. This guy, the fuck is that hair? Christ almighty. Hair is awful. Rest of him though. Again, a bit hunched over. It could be the angle. He probably looks more like he's running in person with the model in front of you. It's always hard to tell, or sometimes it's hard to tell. But yeah, I like him a lot. This guy, outside of the Lightning Claw guy, this is probably my second favorite of the bunch. I just like everything about him. This goofy little hand flamer. Even if I was never the biggest fan of hand flamers as an idea, but man, he looks good. Then you scroll down, and all this shit looks great except for that head. And I saw this, and I couldn't help but fucking laugh, because it looks like both hands are chained to his hammer. You would not want that with a two-handed weapon. For obvious reasons. I'm not even gonna get into it. Then they showed off their new upgrade kit, which is not nearly as good as the old one at all. But it does have that helmet. And that helmet is really great. I also like that arm, even if it is supposed to be for a scout. I like the sword. Pretty much I like all these bits. Except for... I thought there was one head that was exceptionally terrible. No, that one. That one's not good either. Actually, none of these heads are particularly good. That one, though, I saw someone pointed out earlier. It's that head, and that made me laugh. Made me happy. New artifacts, relics, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, it's good. It's not. I don't know if it's comparable to this though, because you got two sprues with all this crap. This is better than most of the Primaris upgrade crap, because I look at the Ultramarine one. It's just shoulder pads and fuck all else. The Raven Guard one is amongst the better ones, and it's poopy. The White Scars one, it's bad. Imperial Fist one, not great. So, Salamander's one I think is probably the worst. Or that Blood Angels one. I think probably that Blood Angels one's the worst. Most of the Primaris stuff, upgrade crap, is bad, but this one's probably their best one. Also probably has the least amount of Primaris stuff in it that I look, now that taking another look, because very few weapons are Black Templary. Honestly, it's just a lot of the not scouts. Transfer sheet doesn't look particularly great to me. That book with its silly art. The thing that I did think was funny, I think it was on this page, is like they couldn't even make like a Dreadnought upgrade for this thing at all, since they're going to be selling it with this. You figure with the them selling the Dreadnought with all this crap, they would do something, and I know like yeah, this one doesn't really have a big Dreadnought piece, but you could put like that crap on it. But like Good, they take a lesson from their old Forge World model that was gorgeous. I should know, I have one. Black is the devil. You figure they just make something to upgrade it with. Like, I know they're releasing, you know, it's not really a whole new range. It's really just a few kits. I just figured it would be something like, I don't know, a special power fist, or what the fuck else can this stupid thing hold? Does it get a crazy multi-gun? Pretty sure it gets a crazy multi-gun. Nah, actually it might not, it's Primaris. Regardless, you would figure it'd get something. I don't know what this thing all entails, because I've never bought one, because I had no interest. But yeah, most of this updates to these models I like. The big exception being probably the one they shouldn't have fucked up. Like, out of all the ones to fuck up for your Black Templars, you fucked up the Emperor's Champion. It's actually kind of impressive. Of course, I know some, not some, probably many people disagree with me. But I don't think it holds a candle to this. I mean, I've seen just random people just make their own version of this, just Primaris size, and it looks way better. Also, this article, I think, has some goofy lore, if I remember correctly. As he wears an armor, he wears the Armor of Faith, but the Armor of Faith was made for regular Marines. It's like a Mark IV. Artificer Mark IV, but Mark IV nonetheless. Mark IV to 6. It is not this. This is Mark 10. Users. I know you don't know how to count, and I know the people who write these articles don't know shit about the game or the lore. Look at when they gave the Death Guard the wrong Legion number. But it is nice that the Black Templar are getting updated to look, you know, like Black Templar. Because when I first heard rumors of this, I was very worried that they were just going to be Primaris but black. And I guess, to be fair, most of your units will still just be Primaris but black. But, you know, if you're talented, you can convert your shit to look more unique. So. I miss this model. Why did they get rid of it? They're getting rid of this. This model's gonna be out. He's gone. That's right, he's not gone already. I'm not really looking at the rules because I don't really have any intention of going back to playing Space Marines. For one, Games Workshop as a company kind of pisses me off a lot, and two, the whole Space Marine army I was building that wasn't Black Templar, the new Codex kind of fucked my plans on that when it came out. It made me a very angry person. Anyway. This cover, not great. This guy, terrible. And not terrible, just probably like a 4 out of 10. Most of this stuff, pretty good. No. Yeah, pretty much the Crusader Squad and the Marshal, pretty good. I mean, Box, if you want to count the Box, pretty good. He's probably their best looking Primaris character. Because most of them look not great. Anyway, it's kind of felt like, I guess, just mumbling to myself. Who fucking knows if this is even gonna get uploaded?